Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Ringside Ramblers podcast. I'm Alex, and I'm joined on this episode by Rohit and Alfonso. And for this episode, we are going to be discussing who we think is the future of pro wrestling. So, before we start, please don't forget to subscribe to the Ringside Ramblers on YouTube and please hit that like button. But without further ado, let's get into it. So, Rohit, Alfonso, welcome to the show, and are you ready to ramble?
Hello, and yes, I am.
Yeah, me
Good
too.
news.
I'm super ready to ramble and let's do this.
Let's do this. So, we got this. We thought about this topic because of ESPN's recent list, which is a 30 superstars under the age of 30 to focus on. It was their best 30 superstars under 30. So, I'm going to quickly run down their list, and then we're going to discuss who we think is essentially the future of pro wrestling, who should be number one, who we think is going to be the biggest star in the next 5-10 years, possibly. So, number one, he was in the top three last year, I believe. Number one is Dirty Dominic Mysterio.
Woo!
I was a bit surprised by that, I have to say. Number two, who
Who do you
was last year's number one, is MJF. Number three is Tony Storm. Then we have Rhea Ripley, Mariah May, Konosuke Takeshita, Jack Perry, Kyle Fletcher, Daniel Garcia, and from New Japan, rounding out the top 10, Shota Umino. So,
Boo.
so we have in the top 30, there were 8 from WWE and 12 from AEW. So, I mean, looking at the top 10, we'll start with you, Alfonso. Who from that top 10 jumps out at you as a real future star in pro wrestling? Do you think they've got it right? Do you think it's Dirty Dom Mysterio?
For me, I think Dominic Mysterio is right because he's very versatile and he can be the next like big Latino thing in WWE, and he's been the next big Latino thing in WWE. He's one of the most entertaining heels in the company, but I think they got it wrong because I would have gone with Tony Storm because if you ask me if who is the best woman wrestler in the world right now as a character and performance, I will go with Toni Storm because she's very interesting to see as a character, and I love her in the ring. So yeah, I will have put Toni Storm in number first.
Yeah, I mean, with Dom, you make some good points. He is a fantastic heel. He seems to be gaining a lot of confidence in himself as well. Like his mannerisms, his facial expressions are really developing well. Do you see Dominic Mysterio winning a world championship in the next 5 years? Because I'm not sure I do.
I do.
I,
You know why? Because you know why? Because they don't let him fight. Because he's the chicken heel right now. So
Chicken
they
shit
don't let
heel.
him
Yeah.
fight. Exactly. I didn't want to say that word, but yeah. Uh,
You can
they don't
swear
let
on this
him fight.
podcast. It's fine. It's fine.
Okay. Fuck. Okay. Apparently, he's very. They let him fight at house shows sometimes, and
Hmm,
he's very good in the ring. But as a character, he's not fighting right now. So I think in the next few years, he's going to have that moment when he's going to start to fight, and who knows, maybe he can be like an Eddie Guerrero. We don't know it yet. So that's what's very interesting. Before we go with Rohit, I just want to say something else very, very
okay.
fast.
Go for
The
it. Go.
list the list is very, very wrong because there is one
Yeah.
name they missed, and I think it's crazy that they didn't put him in there. And it's Oba Femi. He's 26 years old, and that dude is
Yeah.
crazy in the ring, and I think he's the future. He will be a world champion for sure. So
I
yeah,
think they missed out quite a few names, and some names I feel like they qualified from age, but they're either kind of already a name or they're already kind of like the present. So I don't know what they mean by. future, but hey.
So who's the
Yes.
future for you, Rohit?
Sorry?
For you, who's the future of wrestling?
Oh, there's so many out there, but for me, I think someone that's missing on this list is probably from New Japan, probably Rohit Oiwa is missing from this list because like he's just like he's got that sense that people in the industry in Japan are saying that like, oh, this guy is the future, this guy is so good already. And the last time I heard that is like when we see generational stars pop up like Okada, like Kento Miyahara, like Marufuji, that's like, that's how Oiwa is being touted as. So if things go to plan, he should be like the next big thing over there. So, and he's not even on the
What
list.
what about Western wrestling? Who of those names jumps out at you as like this is the future of pro wrestling in the next 5 or 10 years?
And those in the future, oof, that's a tricky one. I would have to go with probably Tony Storm as well at the
Yeah.
moment. Um, if from those lists, like whoever is like towards the top, I think Tony Storm should be number one because MJF has been a bit cold, but he's already been number one, and we know what MJF is. So I think he's already there. Dom, there's some question marks. He should be on the list, but I don't think he should be number one. And Rhea Ripley is the same with MJF. She's already been there. We already know what kind of star she is. She's already here. So I don't think she should be number one. So from like the top 4 or 5, I think Tony Storm makes the most sense to be number one.
Woo!
Yeah.
So I feel
You're
like Tony.
right. MJF is arguably the biggest star in AEW right now. Whether he's wrestling or not, he
Yeah,
seems to draw the most numbers, the biggest ratings. He is the guy for me in AEW. So
but
he's not really.
he's
He's the
not the best
future,
tournament
but
wrestler.
he's yeah. He's also there, like you said. He's there right now.
Yeah,
Same with Rhea Ripley. So yeah, I find it bizarre that Tony Storm is under 30. Seems like she's been wrestling forever.
yeah, it's true.
I,
Yeah,
I think I think I think that's the craziest thing because when you think about uh, wrestlers having a character, she
yeah.
can have the professionalism to become that character. The way she cuts promos when she goes to CMLL and everything that she's doing, she's one of the greatest ever, and I really enjoy her a lot, a lot.
So, question for you two then on Tony Storm because she clearly has shown amazing skills in her character, and clearly you can see there is huge potential there to be a huge star.
Yeah.
Will she go back to WWE? And if she does, will she become as big a star as somebody like Becky Lynch or Charlotte Flair?
I don't know if she's going to go back, but
Yeah.
I think Triple H is going to acknowledge her more than she was before because I think she was still around when it was the Vince era and they
Yeah.
Yeah,
didn't
she
know what
was.
they had in their hands. And for me, when you get somebody like Tony Storm, you're going to enjoy it a lot. But right now, WWE has a lot of women wrestlers. Like
Mhm.
NXT is stacked with women wrestlers. We have Julia and Stephanie Vaquer coming up, so I don't think they need Tony Storm right now.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know if she's going to go back. If she does go back, I think should be used better, but will she be like that top echelon star, like you said, like a Becky Lynch, like a Rhea Ripley? Will she be on that level? Will she be used more like I don't know, like a Asuka type where she can come in, she can be a champion, she can do a run, she can be like special, or she can do some more comedic character stuff here and there. I don't know how well she will be used, but yeah, I think she'd be treated better than what she was before, obviously, but will she be that like number 1% in the women's division? I don't know, and I don't think so, but anything can happen, really.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see, won't it? For sure, because she
Yeah.
is doing the best work of her career, and like she is probably the number one women's star in AEW. So
Yeah.
yeah, it would be interesting to see if she went back. So I'm going to give my name now, and I think this is an absolute crime that this man is not in the top 10, top 5, let alone the top 10. It is
Bron Breakker.
ridiculous. Bron Breakker, absolutely, absolutely. This guy is a megastar in waiting. He
Mm,
is he is for me, he is gonna be the guy. I think in like, I don't know, 5 to 10 years, like the company will be built around Bron Breakker. I think he can
yeah.
be like an amazing baby face because fans are just gonna want to see him like Goldberg was back in the day. Just see him spearing people out of their boots and like,
But you know what the thing is that he still doesn't have that big run. And we're still waiting for that big Braun Breaker run. He lost the title, he gained it again, and we're still waiting for that being big Braun Breaker moment. I think we're
but
going to have it.
you have time. You have time
Mm.
to do that, which is
Yeah,
the good thing. You don't
but
need to
that's
rush it.
but that for me is weird because that list is very weird. Because if you want to have somebody that had an amazing year, why the hell Gabe Kidd is so down on the list?
I know, right?
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
been
like
great. Yeah,
he should be top five of top three because Gabe Kidd has had an amazing year. He's the top heel in New Japan Pro Wrestling,
A hundred
and
percent. Yeah.
he's down there. He's chasing freaking kids and scaring them, and he's down there,
yeah.
and yeah,
I
he's
mean,
going to face
yeah.
Kenny Omega, and yeah, I think Gabe Kidd has done an amazing job recently.
Mhm.
And I think he's going to sign with WWE or AEW soon enough.
He's
Most
done
likely.
some great work over the
Yeah.
last year for sure.
Yeah. I mean, speaking of like criminal acts, I don't know how Kaito Kiyomiya is. What is he, 12?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, if you talk about like future stars, he's probably the current ace. If you think about what he's done this year, he's current GHC heavyweight champion. He's won the Ed1 victory, which is a pro wrestling known as G1 Climax this year as well. And he's beaten a lot of the top guys. I mean, how is he just how is he not top five? He could arguably be number one because he's pretty much now like established himself as the ace of Noah. Yes, he still have Marufuji around and some of the other older guys, but again, key word here
but
is
but
older.
sir, remember this is a Western list. This is
True,
ESPN
true,
list.
true. But
So yeah,
come on, you still gotta make it factual. Like if for example, like obviously I love my Japanese wrestling, but if Vikingo was the best wrestler in the world this year, like or best young wrestler in the world, I'd put him at number one. So like shouldn't really matter where you're from. Obviously, there's gonna
you're
be
right.
bias and
You're
stuff,
right.
but
You're right. You're right.
You're right. I guess in as a general rule,
yeah,
you draw more money and attract more viewers, and people know who you are more in Western wrestling.
yeah,
But
it is what it is. But I
that
mean, the
But
doesn't
thing is,
disregard
again,
talent.
to be
yeah,
honest with you guys, I really think Dominic Mysterio is going to draw huge numbers in
yeah,
Netflix.
I think he will. Yeah.
Like
Yeah, I
the
agree.
Netflix era is going to be great for Bron Breaker and for Dominic Mysterio.
Yeah, so Bron Breaker came in at number 11 on this list, which is like, I just think it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
The man he's got absolutely everything, and you've got time. And I want Bron Breaker to have a big WrestleMania match either next year or the year after. I want him to face like a I don't know, a John Cena maybe next year,
Mm.
or like Roman Reigns the year after that, or something like that. I think he needs that, which can just take him off to the next level.
It depends what's the Mania plans for this year because I feel like they need to get rid of the whole like Rock, Bloodline, Cody kind of stuff. Like let that play out and then let Braun shine because I don't think you want Braun to have this big match to be kind of like overshadowed, I feel like. I think if you try and
Rohit,
do
they are never gonna get rid of the bloodline stuff.
oh no, but I'm saying like the main match that everyone wants between like I don't know the combination between Rock versus Roman, Roman versus Cody again, Cody versus Rock, whatever they're planning to do with that little little arc, I guess. So let's this chapter needs to finish before I feel like they can
No,
give Rock
no,
like a
no.
big.
You know why? You know why not? Because
Mhm.
maybe the next big thing for Paul Heyman is going to be Braun Breaker. So we don't know
Oh
yet.
yes,
Could be,
absolutely
yeah.
yes.
But
Put
again, for
Brom,
that to
put Paul
happen,
Heyman with Bron Breaker, please.
yeah, for that to happen, I feel like they need to like start the next chapter of this bloodline stuff, and then Paul Heyman can be like, oh yeah, somehow get involved with Braun Breaker and start that up really, and then build that up, and then you can have that big match for Braun Breaker with Paul Heyman in his corner. I feel like, but I don't know.
The
That's
sky's the limit for Bron Breaker.
Yeah, but
mm,
you know that just to conclude something is that when you see that list,
yeah,
you're really like happy to see that list because
mm,
like right now we have so many young guys and
yeah,
really wrestling future is looking very bright right now. Like
mm,
older guys are very healthy, younger guys are getting even better in the ring before their prime, you know,
yeah.
and I think we're going to enjoy like 5 or 10 more years of very great wrestling with this new batch of wrestlers that are coming up.
100%,
Yeah,
and there's loads of people that didn't even make this 30 list that like are well known and are doing some great things as well. So 100% Alfonso, yeah.
yeah. The list is really positive for the future of wrestling. I think if I had to pick somebody from AEW, I would go with Konosuke Takeshita or Kyle Fletcher. I think those two guys are so talented, especially Takeshita. That you could
Yeah.
build the company around him potentially in AEW, like him, MJF, um, like Osprey, maybe for like the next 5 years, and
No,
he's
no,
so
no,
good.
no.
No,
No, Takeshita just needs to leave and just jump to New Japan. I'm sorry, man. Like, if they're not gonna pull the trigger now, what are they doing? Come on, Tony Khan, pull the trigger.
yeah, very
He
true.
needs
They've
to
given
pull.
him the international championship, but like he beat Kenny Omega last year in like a huge win, and they just did nothing with him, and it was
Okay.
infuriating because he's so
For me,
good.
yeah,
Mm,
yeah. But I think that's a question for another day because talking
yeah,
about like AW not striking when the iron is hot is something that is happening a lot
yeah.
recently. But yeah,
Can you imagine Konosuke Takeshita versus Swerve Strickland in a main event of, I don't know, Full Gear next year or something? I don't know.
yeah, that will be great. And I think the 30 versus 30 list is going to change a lot for next year. And I think it's
Oh,
very
yeah.
easily that we're going to see Braun Breaker in that list.
We best fucking see Bron Breaker in that top five at least.
Ah,
But
I,
yeah,
I'll write to the ESPN and say put him at six, but not any higher.
the thing is that the thing is that remember that next year Tony Storm leaves the list because she's 29, and also Takeshita is leaving the list as well because he's going to be
Yeah,
30 as well.
yeah, quite a few will be leaving the list. Like, I had to double check on Yota Tsuji's age, but I didn't realize he turned 31. Because I was like, why is he not on the list? And then I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, Osprey's just turned 30, I think, and
Yeah,
yeah, Bron
I mean,
Breaker
he's
is
been on the
27.
list
So
for a while, I think, or
But yeah,
something.
let's see what the people comment on this podcast and decide for them who is the really future of pro wrestling.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so we almost had 2 votes for Tony Storm there and one for Bron Breaker. But
Hmm.
I want to ask you guys one more question before we go. So, if you had to rearrange that list and make a top three, who would be your top three and in what order? One, two, and three.
Okay, my turn.
Go
I'm
Yeah,
on.
going with Tony Storm, Dominic Mysterio,
yeah,
and Olafemi.
But he's
yeah.
not on the list.
I know, but that's my list.
Oh, okay.
You can. That's fair. I'll let you have that, Alfonso. Yeah,
Thank you.
that's a
Fair enough.
solid top three. What about you, Rohit?
Ooh, I think I'd have to probably go with, yeah, I'd probably go with Tony Storm, Gabe Kidd, and Konosuke Takeshita. I feel like probably go that
Pretty
way.
nice list. Pretty nice list.
Yeah, I would go with Bron Breaker, Konosuke Takeshita, and I think Tony Storm as well. She deserves it. So
Nice.
She's the MVP of this list.
she is. She is. Tony Storm is the one, ladies and gentlemen, the future of wrestling. Um, but yeah, let us know what you think. Who is
Tony
the
Storm
future?
for Tribal Chief.
Let us know in the comments what you think. Very exciting future
Yeah.
of wrestling when you look at that list. So yeah, we
Mhm.
will wrap it up there, guys.
Yeah. And before
Rohit,
we finish, I just want to give a special shout out to whoever or whoever many people did this list. I mean, they included some All Japan and Dragon Gate guys with Yuma Anza, Yuma Aoyagi, and then from Dragon Gate, Shun Skywalker, which, especially Shun Skywalker, that surprised me because I didn't think they would put anyone from Dragon Gate or anyone else out there. So, pretty
yeah.
impressed whoever, like, whatever team or whoever did this, even if it was a quick Google search, but whatever
I
they did,
mean,
I'm impressed.
call me mainstream, but I've never heard of those guys. And
Yeah,
I guess
fair.
they have to. I guess they have to cover all bases because they don't want to upset anybody who might
Yeah,
be a huge Dragon Gate fan. But
yeah. I mean, Sean Skywalker is really different on Grey. Like, if you ever get a chance to YouTube one of his matches,
But
definitely check it out.
that's why that list exists, and that's why we're
Yeah,
giving it spotlight on this episode. And I think it's very important for people to go to see the list and see those names, and maybe go and see one of two matches of these guys, because they're really the future of this sport and the entertainment, however you want to call it. But yeah, this was fun, and I think next year is going to be even better.
well said. Well said.
yeah, we'll see who's on the list next year. So Rohit and Alfonso, thank you so much for this episode.
No problem. It was a good, fun episode. Yeah.
Yeah, been a pleasure as always. And don't forget to follow us on our social media page as well, Facebook and Twitter at Ringside Ramblers, and subscribe to our podcast on YouTube. And we will see everybody next time for another Ringside Ramblers podcast. Ciao, everybody.
Ciao.
Ciao.